Hey guys, I'm Scott with Trail Power, and today we're taking a look at another jump starter. If you've watched our Hulkman 85S video, you'll know that we're huge fans of carrying portable jump starters in each of your vehicles. And the ones we've looked at so far have been premium models. The Hulkman 85S is around the $200 price point with a case. Today we're looking at one that's a third the price. This is the IRIHUP FC600 Pro. It has the same ratings. It's 2000 peak cranking amps. But the question is, can it do what the Hulkman does? So we're going to test it today. We're going to torture test it on our V8 Raptor. We're going to see if it'll be able to start this without a starting battery attached. We're also going to put it in the freezer and see how it does after spending some time in the deep freeze and see if it still can start our truck. So stay with us and we'll give you a full tour.
So let's open it up and take a look and see what we have. Okay, so first thing you'll see is that the IRIHUP does include a carry case, a semi-rigid case. And with the Hulkman, that is a separate $35 purchase. So that off the bat is a nice feature. So as we get inside, you'll see that it's split into two sides. It's very similar to the Hulkman. We have this side here that has the actual jump starter and has the instructions in it. And then on this side has our accessories. And so we'll get into those in a minute. But this is a jump starter itself, and you'll see that it has, unlike a lot of jump starters, it actually has an on-off button. So that is just kind of a nice thing to have to make sure it doesn't accidentally get triggered while it's put away. There's your USB ports. There's a standard USB port, and then this one is a high-speed, what is that, a QC30 port. And then over here on the side, behind this rubber flap, you'll find the charging port that you can connect your jumper cables to, and this is also where you plug in your 12-volt port. We'll show you that. And then you'll see that there's a little USB-C port there. Now that's only for charging. That can't be used to power any USB-C devices. And then of course we can turn our light on, and there you can see we have a flashlight, and we have SOS and strobe, and then we have this little red flashing strobe that you can use if you're in an emergency situation, I guess, and put out next to your car so nobody runs into the back of you when you're changing a tire or something. So that's pretty handy, pretty standard feature these days. You can see it has an LCD display on the front that gives you all the pertinent information. Not quite as fancy as some of the premium models like the Hulkman. It's just monochrome, but it does give you that 100% readout there, and then shows you your available ports and shows you if you're charging and such. Now let's pull out our accessories and take a look at those. You can see the jumper cables are on the smaller side. If you've seen our Hulkman cables, you'll notice that these are quite a bit smaller, but they do seem to be pretty solidly built, and they do have copper clamps, so I don't expect that to be an issue, but we'll find out when we test today if there's any limitations on these smaller cables. And then also in here you'll find there's a USB-A to USB-C plug if you need that, and then there's also this 12-volt power port. This just plugs right in here, the same port where you'd plug in your jump starter, and then you have 12-volt out. Now this did vary from about 16.4 volts when the battery's at 100% charge, and then at about 30% charge that was down to 14.6 volts, and then as we got down to about 10% charge, that dropped down to about 12.4 volts. So if you need a regulated 12-volt outlet, this may not be it, but it is handy to have this little cigarette lighter port for devices that are less sensitive. So let's plug our cables in here, and you can take a look at those. So as we plug those in, you'll see that there's a flashing light there to let us know that it's not detecting a battery. Flash between red and green until that is detected, and then we could clamp this to our battery. Now the one thing that this does have that a lot of jump starters don't, that we're really glad to see, is it does have a force override. So it has about 10 different safety circuits in here to make sure that you don't cross these and reverse a polarity or something. But you can press right here this little button, and you'll see that it'll turn green, and that is ready to charge. These are fully charged, so you want to make sure that you're safe before you do that, because it's sending a lot of amps to those cables right now. But that's a way that you can jumpstart your battery even if it's showing less than 1 volt. So really important for completely dead batteries, so you don't end up stuck somewhere and blocked by the safety features. So that is that. And so let's go ahead and take this out, and we'll hook this up to our rig. We're going to put this on a 6.2 liter V8 Raptor, and we're going to see if this can jump our Raptor with no battery connected. We're going to completely disconnect the starting battery and connect these cables up to it and see if this pocket-sized guy can start our 6.2 liter V8. Okay, so we're out in our garage with our Ford Raptor. We've got our IRIHUP jump starter here. We've disconnected our battery cables completely from the starting battery, and we're going to connect our cables directly to the starting cables here. So we're taking our starting battery completely out of the equation to see how this does. Now, the safety features should jump in and say, I don't detect a battery, and so I'm not going to allow you to jump start this. And that's what we see. We see this red and green flashing light. But if we go ahead and press our override button, we'll see what happens. Now, once we press this, this should turn green. Okay, we can see we got power, and so we have 30 seconds to go ahead and start the truck. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so there you can see we started up our Ford 6.2 liter V8 on our Raptor using this little tiny IRIHUP jump starter. And once again, there's no battery attached here, no starting battery. We're only using this little guy. So I'm pretty impressed. For the price point, that's pretty hard to beat. We'll do one more test. We're gonna put this in the freezer, and we'll put it in the freezer for like an hour. It's like around 0 degrees, and then we'll see how it does after that. So this is our Dungeon of Doom freezer. When we do our cold weather testing, we'll put our jump starter in there, come back in an hour.
2 hours later.
Okay, we just pulled this out of the freezer. Good and frosty. It's been in there about 0 degrees for an hour and a half. We're going to plug this back in. I don't think that it's going to start, but we'll find out. We've still got our starting battery disconnected, so we're running just off of the IRIHUP. And press the bypass. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Guys, we just started a 6.2 liter V8 Raptor off of the IRIHUP jump starter with no starting battery attached and with it sitting in the freezer for an hour and a half. It was a little bit slow turning over, but it did turn over and it started this thing and ran it. That's pretty impressive. So let's wrap up our review of the IRIHUP jump starter. As you saw, we hooked it up to our truck with no starting battery attached and it started. I was not expecting that. I thought it was probably going to fail that first test. So then we put it in the deep freeze and we froze it for an hour and a half, pulled it out, hooked it up to the truck again with no starting battery attached, and it started again. And it still has 65% of its battery left. So all around, really impressive performance as far as a jump starter goes. How does it compare to a premium jump starter like the Hulkman? You know, I think they both have their place. I mean, this is an incredible value at the price point, and I could confidently recommend this. As far as some of the things that are differences, you know, of course, I like the Hulkman's ability to preheat the battery if you're in very cold temperatures, like below 0 temperatures. And also it has a nicer display. It comes with a USB charger and it charges at 65 watts versus 18 watts. So this takes like 3 or 4 times as long to charge. And just some of the UI and the interface and the build quality are a little bit lower, but all in all, it did everything we asked of it, and it started our truck, and that's the #1 most important thing is, will it start your car when you need it to? And so it performed really well, and it comes with a case, and it's just an incredible value. So if you're in the market for a budget jump starter, I don't think you can go wrong with the IRIHUP. So check the links in the description below for special pricing and special offers, and we'll see you guys next video.